Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim and this is Tim the Trailman, and today I've got an update for you. So over the last year or so, I've been running a Blaze Offroad tray for a single Garmin Power Switch. I love my Garmin Power Switch and I love the simplicity of Blaze Offroad's single tray that allows the Power Switch to mount up with a common ground bar. The problem is the Power Switch only comes with 6 circuits. All 6 circuits have 30 amps, that's a win. The downside is I've got more lights and accessories than just 6 circuits. So over the last year, I've added a second Garmin Power Switch, but I didn't have nowhere to put it. So the Blaze Offroad design is the simplest and easiest to get auxiliary switches put in, really auxiliary controls, not switches because there's no switches. But for a switch controller to be put in your vehicle, 2 bolts, power, ground, you're ready to rock and roll. Simple. But it's more complicated to add the second one. So you can see here where I've added the second one, I just double-sided sticky taped it to the fuse box. I ran a bunch of wires. It is super messy. I've been working on it. Well, over the last year, Mitch, the owner of Blaze Offroad, has been working hard behind the scenes to create a generation 2 of a power switch controller. He did have a version 1.0 for dual power switch. That one made it a little bit more difficult to run things such as backlighting, extra accessories like compressors or fridges. So he's designed this where it is a little bit more involved. We're going to install it here in a minute, that it will bolt up to the fender, the driver's side fender, and then this will go ahead and mount, this leg will mount from here to the wheel well, the fender well, so it will be able to support this. And what we've got here is the spot where the 2 power switches are. We're going to transfer those over from my old setup, if you'd call it a setup. And then we've got a common ground bar. He's added an extra bus bar for backlighting. So this wire here is going to run from one power switch over to here. So anytime I turn that circuit on in the power switch, all of the backlighting, whether it's my Diodynamics, my Baja, rock lights, whatever you want powered up off of one switch, that's going to open up a lot of circuits and create a better system or a neatness to it where you don't have wires running everywhere and you don't have to, you know, combine 9 wires into one wire to put it on a circuit. You can just run one power wire, boom. And then what he has done is designed it where it has a safety hub 150. So you can run power into this, it'll come out, run over to the power switch. Then you also have expandable circuits. Underneath here. So from your battery, in my case, one battery will power up some of it and the second battery will power up the other. So power in from the one battery, then out to the 2 power switches, which is fuse. You can run a single fuse off of the battery wire from battery to in here, and then this is going to be your positive places. You can run 2 power switches out of it, and then you have expandable spots for ARB compressors or fridges, which I do have one for the back of the 4Runner now, so I can literally just install fuse, run power to the back, and the fridge will run off of it. So then you'll have common ground here or here, depends on what you want to set up with. And then you do have more expandable circuits that you can just add in regular fuses, so 5 amp, 10 amp. I'd have to read the instructions. I don't know what the highest circuit is, but let's say 20 amp to play it safe off of here as well. So these circuits would not be switched unless you set that up. That way these would be always hot if you ran a fuse through here to a wire to an accessory. But I'm super excited to get this put in. That's a big overview, a lot of talking. Let's get over to the 4Runner, get that cleaned up. We're gonna rip all those wiring out and then start fresh with what I'm calling the 2.0 setup from Blaze Offroad. So let's get over to the 4Runner. Okay, so this is his single Garmin Power Switch removed. So you would get a Garmin Power Switch if you pay for it, or you already own it, then a common ground bar, and then this is a power adapter here that you can run power to, it's fused, and run some extra things. They would always be hot, so like if you were running a fridge. And then the simple design is 2 bolts go right into your fender. I'll show you those in a second. But that's a single power switch. He still offers that on his website. And this is the new design here, 2 power switches, which we've already gone over. So I just wanted you to see the difference. Let's look at where it's going to go. Okay, remember, don't judge me. This is how it looks all disassembled here. So massive rat's nest. This is where the other power switch was mounted. This fuse box or relay holder comes on the 2020s or newer. Mine's a 2020. So if yours is older, you won't have this, and it's much simpler to get that bolt in there. And then this bracket right here, it comes with a tab, and I'll show it in my other video. It actually goes into this hole right here, but you have to cut it so you can put, it's a threaded hole, so this hole and that hole is where the power switch trays, power switch trays from Blaze Offroad will bolt up, and then it will cover this. So we're gonna fix all that rat's nest there, clean all this up, and then when I'm done, we'll see the finished product. Okay, so for the stand, this hole, and then this hole's got a little shadow on it. Let's see if we can move that wire there. I need to blow those out with compressed air. If your 4Runner's new or doesn't go off-road, you'll be able to run an M6 by 1.0 bolt into there, and that's where that leg is gonna stand as well on the new design. So I'm gonna blow those out with compressed air so the leg will go in there, but that's the holes for where the tray will mount up right here. Okay, so we're gonna join these wires together all in one sheathing and run it across the firewall there, or the bulkhead. And then this rat's nest we've definitely cleaned up a lot better. The rock lights was the main mess, and so we've joined those together under the vehicle, and we're about to set the tray in here and then wire all this up. If you remember where they go, you'll let me know in the comments, please, because right now I don't know which wire goes to what. Okay, there you have it. That is the finished product of this dual Garmin Power Switch tray from Blaze Offroad. So this is the next weekend. It took us 10 hours on that Sunday for me and Justin to get it done. So in the time-lapse video, it looks like we're just working our butts off, but in reality, it was a ton of wiring. Now, none of that had to do with the tray setup in itself or the Garmin Power Switches. It had to do with that I already had a pre-existing setup that really was kind of discombobulated. So between all the wires being run everywhere and power switches being placed in things that weren't looking good or professional, all of that, we took most of it apart, or we really took all of it apart, but we had to reroute some things, fix some things, and then go ahead and fix everything. So if you're just starting off from a blank slate and you have a vehicle that you're installing the dual power switch with the Safety Hub 150, I would not expect it to take nearly the time that it took us to do it, but because of everything that I already had going on for the last year or two, I'm just adding and adding and adding and not cleaning up and making it look good. That made it for an extra long day. I am super stoked at how it came out. I'm excited to actually pop the hood at shows, overland meets, or things like that now,
because when people ask me how my lights are set up, I can just open my hood and they won't gasp at the idea of how it looks. So now under the hood matches the outside of the vehicle, clean, professional, and no risk of the vehicle burning down or having problems. And most importantly for me, with the system, now if I need to be diagnosing anything, I can actually see where the wires run and how they're routed and set up to which circuits. So thank you again to Blaze Offroad for sending me the tray. The power switches from Garmin are awesome. And then if you have any questions about the dual battery setup, the Red Arc charger, or the ICS battery terminals, or anything like that that you've seen in this video, please let me know in the comments below. I do want to give a shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me and the channel. And if you'd like to be a patron too, please head on over to patreon.com/TimTheTrailman. If you'd like to see more content like this, hit that thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and as always, thank you for watching.